Hi there and welcome. Thanks for joining me. I'm Cheryl and this is Your Journey Yoga, and today we are going to work on our hips, mobility and flexibility in that hip joint. Some of these are going to be a little bit more intense stretches, so be sure to take it at your own pace. Make sure that you are not going beyond a 7 or an 8 on the intensity scale, and certainly not getting onto the pain scale. So a little discomfort is fine. A dull ache of a stretch is great, but just be mindful and be kind to your body. So starting in a kneeling position, your bottom against your heels, and we're just going to reach up and to the sky, lifting up onto those shins and knees, and then gently release it back down. Hands just gently tapping the tops of the knees. Big circle of those arms up and overhead as we rise and sink. So warming up, quads, hips, a little butt squeeze at the top. A little bonus of the shoulders mobility here. Reach it up and sit it back. One more time, circle those arms up. This time, release those arms, stay up tall, sweep your feet to the left, and bring your bottom down. Right cheek comes to the mat. Come back up, sweep your feet to the right. Left cheek comes to the mat. Coming back up. Sweep the feet. So maybe it's just we sit a little bit. We don't go all the way to the ground. That's okay. Come back up and sweep. Maybe we don't sit all the way. Listen to your body. Come back up and sweep one more time to your range of motion that's right for you. Sweep to the right, and that left cheek comes down. Stay down, and let's sweep those feet around behind you. Feet are going to open up about the width of the mat. Hands are behind you, and we're just going to rock the knees side to side. So you might find some things are a little easier than others, and that's okay. That's life, right? We work on things until they get to be a little bit easier. That's progress. Doesn't have to be perfection, just progress. Good, coming back up. This time, walk those feet out a little bit further. No hands this time, and we're gonna rock. Working to stay upright a little bit more. This is a little more intense, and if you're like, I need those hands behind me, then use it, that's fine. Rocking side to side. One more time, each direction. Keeping that core strong. We come back through to center. Now we're just gonna take that right knee in and open, and I want you to open as far as you can. Bring it in and open it. So that internal rotation, external rotation. Is one easier than the other? Probably so. And again, we're working to keep that chest lifted. If you need the hands behind you, keep it. Last time, in and out, and then back to neutral. Now we take it to the left side. Left knee in and roll it open. Now you're going to have one side where you're like, okay, this feels a lot more natural to me. Range of motion's a lot better. I don't feel like I have quite as much hitch in my get along. Don't judge. This is just knowledge. Good. Couple more. Again, this is mindful movement here, so we're not just flinging that leg in and out. It's moving it with purpose. Good, let's make this the last one. And open, and then come back to center. Walk those feet towards the top of your mat. You may not be at the top of your mat, it's okay. So just those feet out and away from you a little bit. Soft bend in the knees, sit up nice and tall. Walk your hands down your shins. Let your tummy and chest come right between those legs. Let your knees roll open. So this is a little added bonus stretch into that lower back. Starting at the tailbone, slowly roll it up, one vertebra at a time. We're going to cross left leg in front of the right and walk the hands forward, lengthening that spine. And release the weight of the upper body down. If you want to keep walking those hands forward and extending those arms, feel free. I want you to notice if your tailbone is still on the mat. I want you to press it down. Little tuck of your chin. Inhale, circle those hands back by your hips. Big circle of the arms up and overhead. Release your hands around behind you. Fingertips point towards your bottom. Press and lift your hips to the sky. Open up those knees. Open up the pelvis. Lift your chest. Breathe. Squeeze your buns. And gently release it down. Crisscross so the right leg is in front. Reach. Pull the hands down through heart center and walk it forward. So now the other leg is in front, just noticing the impact of that stretch. Again, you can keep the elbows bent or you can walk those hands out. Glue those sit bones to the mat. As our body is not made identical, left side, right side, let go of expectations and just kind of notice as you play what feels different. We work to improve the imbalances in the body, strength, flexibility, mobility, without judgment or criticism. We just put in the work, keep a sense of humor. Circle those hands back by your hips. Big circle of those arms up and overhead. And circle those arms around behind your back. Fingertips point towards your bottom. Lean back onto those hands. Core strong. Give those buns a squeeze. And lift. Opening up that chest. Find your breath. And gently release your bottom back down. Big circle those arms up and over. Bring your hands forward. Come up onto the knees. Step your left foot back. And then the right. And let's lift those sit bones to the sky, coming to our down dog. Just swaying the hips side to side. So like I said, some of these stretches can be pretty darn intense. Just be nice. Coming back to center, shift your weight to your left foot, right toes to the sky. Exhale and sweep that right foot to the outside of the right hand. Come low, let those hips be heavy. Lift your hips, sweep it back, right leg to the sky. And back, right foot to the outside of the right hand. Oh, lower those hips. Lift and sweep that leg up and back. One more time. Take it here, hold it here. Bring that back knee to the mat. Untuck your toes. We're going to bend the elbows and extend those arms. If you're like, whoa, I don't think so, just stay tall. Don't bend the elbows. And lift. You want more intensity, tuck the back toes, lift that back knee. We bend and we lift. One more time. We bend and we lift. Step it back. Lift your hips to down dog. Shift your weight to your right foot. Left toes to the sky. Exhale and sweep that left foot to the outside of the left hand. Let those hips be heavy. Good stretch. Lift your hips, sweep it back. Three-legged dog. Sweep that foot out, outside of that left hand. Hips are heavy. Lift the hips, sweep it back. One more time. Sweep it to the outside of your foot. Hold here. Bring that back knee to the mat if you like. Untuck those toes. And we have those lizard push-ups. You ever been in the desert and see those lizards do those push-ups? I love that. They're so funny. If you want, lifting that back knee. One more. And step it back. Lift your hips to down dog. Hold your down dog. Take a moment and breathe. We shift our weight to our left foot. Right toes to the sky. Exhale and sweep that right foot to the outside of your right hand. Left foot steps in. Frog. Hands just below those shoulders. Breathe. You can use blocks if you need to lift those hands a little higher. As you exhale, extend the legs. A wide-legged forward fold. And once again, bend back to your frog. Extend those legs, wide-legged forward fold, intensifying on these last three if you wish, coming to your garland or yogi squat, and then extend. So you can either choose frog or your garland. Core is strong. And breathe. One more. That wide-legged forward fold. Let your arms be heavy. Slow it down. Shift your weight to your heels. Begin to bend those knees. We come back to our frog. And we're going to heel toe those feet off a little bit more. So maybe your heels are just barely on the mat. You might need to tailor your stance to whatever it needs to be, wider or narrower. We're going to shift our weight to our left foot, and we're going to roll that right knee in, little tap, so we're kind of on the big toe of that right foot, and then roll it back open to frog. Left knee comes in and taps, and open. Right knee, tap, and open. Left knee, tap, and open one more time each side. Just that tap, that internal rotation through the hip joint, back to our frog. Pull those hands back onto your mat if they're off. Step your left foot back, and then your right to high plank. Lift your hips to down dog. So you should feel a little warmth going on in that hip joint. Again, making sure there's no pain involved. And just breathe. End of your exhale, take the gaze between your hands, walk your feet in to forward fold. And begin to bend those knees, lowering down. Find your breath. As safely as you can, come down onto your bottom. Back your bottom off just slightly. We're going to tuck that right foot underneath the left. Now, if you are taking special care of your knees today, this might not be the very best place for you to be. Take a moment. If there's something else, another stretch you love, do so. We're going to have 3 of these on each side. Left foot slightly forward. Arms can either be extended. If you need support, use that hand, probably that right hand, to help you come back up. So you're going to come up to a kneeling position and then sit it back down. So the other thing you can do is sit on a block or a bolster so your bum isn't quite so low. If you are able, transition forward and come up. Little butt squeeze at the top and slowly lower it back down. Let's do 2 more. So we'll do 4. And back down. 1 more. Rise. And back down. Release your hands. Switch. Right leg is in front. Left foot is tucked under. Maybe it's your left knee that needs a little extra love. Give it the love it needs, all right? Sitting up on that bolster, that block if you need it. Using that assistance of that left hand if you need it. Otherwise, arms are extended out. If you're using your hand to the outside of your hip, press it up. And rise. You might need to adjust where that right foot is. Sit it back. We are being as graceful as possible, controlling it back down as much as you are on the way up. Take it at your pace. If you're a little bit slower or a little bit faster than I am, fine. Last one. We rise and take a seat. Whew, how'd you do? Extend both legs out. Flex your feet. Sit up nice and tall. Let's open up those legs. A little bit wider than the width of your mat and sit up nice. You can take those legs as wide as you'd like them. I want you to be mindful though so that you're not rocking back onto your tailbone. You're sitting up nice and tall. Now we're going to bend those knees. Pull it in. If you're like, what just happened? And extend those legs out. Now bend that right knee. Pull it in. And press it out. If you need the hands behind you for support, use it. Hands in front, doesn't matter. Now both legs. Pull them in. And press it out. Right leg. Pull it in. Press it out. So we're strengthening the hip flexors. We're working the mobility of the hips both. Lift them. And down. Keep that length in the spine one more time. Right and out. Left and out one more time. Both. Hold. Hold, hold, hold. Bring your hands behind you. Heel toe those feet and let those knees open and close along with your feet. Bringing the hands forward. Just hug it in. Find your breath. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Sit up nice and tall. Once again, bring your hands behind you. We heel toe those feet back open. Nice and wide. Bring your hands forward. Hands to the shins. Sit up as tall as you can sit. Breathe. This should be fairly intense. So there's a lot happening in that hip joint, in the spine, in your core. Now slowly just extend one leg and then the other. Flex your feet, reach to the sky. Releasing that right hand down, left arm up and over. Rolling that left shoulder back. Take your gaze up. You can maybe take a hold of your toes if you like. If you can't quite reach them, just lengthen. And inhale it back up. We switch to the other side. Left arm down, right arm up and over, and we roll that right shoulder back, gazing towards the sky. Breathe. Inhale, both arms come up, reach it up. Pull the hands through heart center. Release your hands, and let's walk it forward. So you can soften your feet if you want to. You can have a bolster underneath your tummy or your chest. You can keep walking. And we're just going to release all the way down. We'll pull those pinkies back, those pinky toes back. If you like taking a hold at the ankles or the big toes, you can have your hands resting. You can have the hands stacked for the forehead to rest against. So just pick wherever you need it to be and breathe. This can be a pretty darn intense stretch. And then gently press through the palms of the hands and walk those hands back in. Pulling that left foot in, sole the foot along the inside of your thigh. Right hand taking a hold of that left knee, left arm up and over. Find your breath. Inhaling it up, releasing that left hand behind you, right arm to the sky, point your toes, press and lift, arch it back, reaching, reaching, reaching. Variation of wild thing. Gently bringing your bottom back down, releasing your hand. Let's switch sides. Left leg goes out, right foot comes in, sole the foot along the inner thigh, left hand to the top of the knee, right arm extends, flex that left foot and lean over. Little bonus, that lateral stretch for the side into that lower back, hamstring. So this one's a doozy. It's a good one. We get lots of places. Inhale it back up, releasing that right hand behind you, left arm to the sky, point your toes, press and lift, arch it back, reach, 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 and breathe. And gently release it down. Releasing your hands. We're going to sweep that right foot a little further back so your knee is pointing straight ahead. Taking that left leg up and over. Working to stack your knees as best you can. Now, if your hips are super tight, I invite you to just come to easy pose, sitting up on a bolster or on the floor. So we're in our half cow face pose. This is a lot of love for the hips. If it's not feeling like love, guys, adjust so that it is. Sit on a block, sit on a bolster, sit in easy pose. Take care of yourself. Palms of the hands to the soles of the feet. Sit up as tall as you can sit and just close your eyes. Relax your jaw. Focus on that left hip. If it's not your left hip that's talking to you the most, focus whatever is. Now keep that length in the spine, and if it feels right to you, start to hinge it forward. Releasing the tummy and chest towards your thigh. Head heavy. We lengthen through the crown of the head and slowly we rise, opening those eyes. Take a note. How's it feel? Hopefully pretty darn good. Find your breath. Let's rock it back and switch sides. So we pull that left foot underneath us, right leg goes up and over, and we work to stack those knees. And you might notice that one side stacks a little easier than the other. That's pretty normal. And then just noticing the pelvis. Is that right hip, right sit bone kind of lifting off the mat a little bit? Do your best to get it down. It might not happen today. Just do your best. That's all we've got, right? Is our best. Sitting up nice and tall, palms of the hands to the soles of the feet. Close your eyes and breathe. Just breathe. We lengthen through the crown of the head and slowly begin to hinge it forward. Just allowing the tummy and chest to come towards your thigh. Let your head be heavy. Focusing on those big, full exhales, releasing tension, tightness, blockages. Allowing the body to be free to move where it's ready to move. We lengthen through the crown of the head and slowly rise. Sitting up nice and tall, and just take note. How do you feel? Breathe. Let's sweep that right foot around. We're on that left hip. We rise, coming up to a kneeling position. Sweep the feet to the left. Right hip comes down. Take it up. How you doing? Sweep the feet and come down. A little more mobility, a little more strength, or your hips like, hey, I am done. Sweep your feet and sit. And come back up. This time, sweep your feet right behind you and just take a seat. Thank you so much for being here today for this hip mobility, flexibility, and strength. I hope you feel amazing. I hope there's warm fuzziness going on in those hips and you just have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you come back and you'll play and find all kinds of fun stuff with this channel. I hope you love every session. Take care. Be well. And until the next time, namaste.